That and I think the effect of the play-in tournament has actually really showed up this season where a lot of these teams are like, I could make the playoffs. I don't want to trade everyone away, you know? There's such few teams, and those teams that we all expect
Yeah,
have
but
already
that's cool
gotten
to
rid of their
see. I
players.
mean, that is,
Yeah.
I was skeptical of the play-in tournament at first, in my opinion. Um, but if it gets teams to be competitive for longer throughout the season, well, then isn't that the whole point of playing a season? That's
Yeah.
great. Then that's awesome. Then I'm all for it. So I think good effects like that is important, and they've been talking about possibly having a mid-season tournament where players get paid $1 million per player on the winning team. Personally, I don't think that's enough incentive, but clearly looking for ways to keep the regular season entertaining and keep teams competitive. I mean, I like it. I get it. You're trying to look for new things. Um, I don't know. I don't know if a mid-season tournament is it though.
Yeah, I don't think it's it either. I really don't know what it is. Even the All-Star game is losing its lackluster with the players. It's just all be moving towards the playoffs, and the playoffs is everything. You know, we already see teams just like the Nets. They just don't give a shit. Like they're like, we just want to go.
They
Like
get the
that.
2 seed anyways.
Yeah. They're like, we'll just show up and play some basketball. And where I mean, I'm sure they care about getting like a top four seed at least. But
But even that, I feel like, we saw the Lakers end up with the 7th seed this year. And maybe that was just because they weren't as good as we hoped they were or thought we knew they were.
yeah.
Um, but like it also seemed like they just weren't that urgent to get like a better seed. And also Anthony Davis was out for a lot of games, and it was LeBron and all the scrubs. But hey, that's the team you guys built.
Yeah, I actually think a lot of this like playoff look and how the players look at it was affected by like LeBron James and his last year, the Cavs. Like they're like, oh yeah, we tried so hard in the regular season, we did all this stuff, but then like look at look at LeBron with the Cavs. They just have LeBron, and LeBron just can drag this team to the finals. Like they're like it really just matters how you play in the playoffs, and obviously like that didn't even like Giannis didn't even get MVP because they just thought he was going to choke in the playoffs again. Like I think if he would have actually shown, like he would have won MVP again. Like he got better from his last MVP
Yeah, it was
season.
like all the perception. It was like, well, yeah, you had a great regular season, but we know what you're going to do in the playoffs. So clearly you don't deserve MVP for the regular season.
Yeah, which is a contradiction in itself because the MVP should have nothing to do with the
Should have
playoffs.
nothing to do with it.
And that's because that's kind of the point of the finals MVP. But um
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what they can do to mix up the season, but I think the play-in tournament has made things more competitive, at least for those. For I'd say it really keeps six uh through like 11 competitive towards the end of the season. They're not sitting people. They're like, oh yeah, we want to like keep our spot because you can fall into the play-in tournament. Like even those six seeds, they're like, I got to get wins. So, but still, like the better teams, naturally, the teams that everyone goes to see aren't. They're like we're in the third seed. We're sitting fine. Like worst case scenario, we fall to like the fourth seed. They're
Yeah.
they're, they're still not trying as hard, and especially like I still think of Kyrie. Like I don't think he gives a shit during the regular season at all. He's like, I'll just show up for the playoffs, get injured, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, going back to Kyrie, I mean, with his track record and not giving a shit in the regular season, I could see him being like, I'm not going to take that vaccine till like halfway through the season, knowing damn well he was going to take the vaccine the whole time. But he's like, damn, I can use this as an excuse to not show up and play basketball.
He's
Awesome.
I think he's really just become a different player since leaving the Cavs. I don't know, but that's Kyrie. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he was LeBron's 2 man over there, and he's wanted to be the 1 man ever since he left.
didn't work
Yet,
out.
like, you can't have the ego before the game, man. Like, you're gonna
Yeah,
piss people off. Like, you got to be a number one that acts like a number one and more than
that
just playing.
just
Got to
didn't
be a
turn out to
leader.
be a good leader. Yeah, I like.
Terrible leader. One of the worst leaders in the league, right up there with the other 2 players that are on the team with him. It's actually crazy how, like, James Harden's a decent leader, but even he quit on the Rockets after he was there for years and didn't set a good example for anyone there. But you got James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, who are three of the worst leaders in terms of making the guys around them better in the league.
I think KD's. I certainly don't think he's the best acts like the. I mean, he has a lot of. I don't know
I
how
mean,
to
he went
say
to the
this.
Warriors, he said, because like he could go there and just fill a role. Like
Yeah,
he's not an alpha dog. He went there because he was like, hey, I can just worry about scoring, getting the ball to me, and playing my game. These guys are going to get their shots up, and I'm going to just do me. He doesn't have the alpha mentality in him to want to lead because he doesn't want to. He doesn't feel comfortable doing that. And so he feels more comfortable teaming up with other guys that are in the top 15 range of players in the NBA. That makes him comfortable. Letting other guys also dominate so he doesn't have to do more stuff. So, yeah, I don't think he's a good leader.
yeah. I actually I think James Harden's a really good leader. I understood why he left the Rockets. I thought he could have done it in a better fashion, but I understood. Like he gave that team everything, won
Oh,
MVP,
no. Yeah, for
but
sure.
she could have left on a better note. And you're at KD is definitely a second leadership option. I think he fills that role better. Like he does more on the court, and I think he could be an alpha dog.
He
And I think
leads
he's
with
really
his
trying.
play.
Yeah, and I think he really is trying on this Nets, and I think he certainly can lead them. However, it's just not. I think these guys fit his leadership style better. Speaking of
Yeah,
Kyrie,
because they're really
Blake
good.
Griffin, yeah, because
So
they're
he doesn't
already
have to
really
do
good.
anything.
Not best
That's
for
what
player development like LeBron or Steph Curry. However, he'll take players as they are and lead them to what he needs. That's why OKC never turned out, is because they had a lot of players that needed development still.
Yeah, like James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Yep. But yeah, hope that I don't think the conclusion is I don't think they should have a mid-season tournament.
The conclusion is fuck Kevin Durant.